Well, hi there. Welcome to one more reading for March. The thought for the day comes from Sir Winston Churchill, who said, or was reputed to have said, a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. So, pretty good start, right? Theoretically, supposedly, Sir Winston Churchill. And this is Rev Christie Hardwick. Her quote from Audre Lorde today is, the title, is Time to be Heard and Seen. Time to be heard and seen. There's power in speaking your mind, sharing your story, and using your voice. Your silence will not protect you. Audre Lorde. And the two Ernest Holmes quotes, which we will see all month, are, all the power in the universe is with you. Feel it, know it, and then act as though it were true. As the universe is run by an infinite mind, so our life is controlled by our thinking. Ignorance of this keeps us in bondage. Knowledge will free us. And when he said thinking, he's talking about thought plus feeling. And then Rev Christie kind of requotes part of that. She said, all the power in the universe is with you. Feel it, know it. Sometimes we want to hide. We do our job at work. We do our chores at home. We act as good neighbors, good parents, lovers, or friends. We participate, but we stay in our place under the radar, not standing out. She said, this seems like a good strategy, one that has served many of us for some time. But perhaps it's time to be heard and seen in a different way. How many times have you felt the butterflies in your belly, but ignored them when they called you to speak, to sing, to act? What parts of your story have you left out to make those around you both more comfortable and less informed? What might be made possible if you shared more of what is on your heart? Can you trust that infinite mind has all the answers and that you have an all-access pass? I never thought about that way before, but it's fair enough. Yeah, I guess there's lots of times when I haven't spoken up and shared what I think and feel. And in a way, it's kind of a British trait. I don't know, but it's not unique to the Brits either. You know, like the Canadians, maybe not to that extent. We tend to be very polite and we don't like to interrupt. And often instead of speaking what's on our minds, we just don't do that. We keep quiet and kind of hope it just gets brought up by somebody else, or it's just automatically absorbed in. So, but it's good advice. Well, I will attempt to do that tonight. I'm off to a business meeting very shortly, and I will see if I can do that. But of course, there are limits to everything. As I mentioned before, I had an aunt who prided herself on always speaking the truth to people, whatever it was, and she hurt a lot of people in the process. So there are ways and means of going about this which don't actually hurt people a lot. So, but sometimes people do need to know the truth. Yeah. However, sometimes the best way to do this is to be a good listener. So anyway, what do you think? What is your opinion of what Reverend Christie Hardwick says today? It's safe to be heard, and my words are gifts to share. It's safe to be heard, and my words are gifts to share. That's a pretty good affirmation. So what do you do with these affirmations? Honestly, a lot of the time I forget because I've got my own. So I think what I might do in future is the ones I really like, I'm going to actually write them down. I'm going to put them in notes on my computer and maybe print them out at some stage. It really is better to physically write stuff out, and maybe I'll do that. So I must admit, I'm not always the world's greatest at saying, oh, that's a good affirmation, and then I forget about it. So when you write it down, it tends to be remembered more. So I'm going to try and do that in future. So just know with me that life is good. Even in hard times, there is a cloud in every, there is a silver lining in every cloud. And just know with me, as Winston Churchill said, that when we start to look for the opportunities and difficulties, we really can start to change our lives. So that's my prayer, which I release into law into the divine mind, calling it done, and so it is. And my colleague, Reverend Lisa, will be back tomorrow at 9:15. Daniel Johnson, one of our practitioners, will be doing her midweek meditation tomorrow, and I'll be out hopefully at 5 p.m. So until next time, from me and everyone at Creative Life, to you, namaste.